This wasn't just any Formula One race. A 13-car crash, a fistfight in the pit lane, a furious Michael Schumacher trying to break into a rival team's garage. And somehow, against all odds, a team that had never won a single Grand Prix finished first and second. Spa 1998 wasn't just wild, it was cinematic. As legendary commentator Murray Walker watched it all unfold, even he was speechless. And when Murray is lost for words, you know Formula One has gone completely off the rails. This is the story of the most insane, unpredictable, and controversial race in F1 history, the 1998 Belgian Grand Prix. Sunday morning, Spa does what Spa does. Despite forecasts calling for dry skies, the heavens opened. Heavy rain swept across the circuit, and chaos was already brewing before the lights even went out. During warm-up, Schumacher showed why he's considered one of the greatest wet weather drivers in history. He topped the timesheets comfortably in the Ferrari, but as teams scrambled to decide on tire strategy, the grid split. Schumacher, Alesi, and Villeneuve gambled on intermediate tires. Häkkinen, Coulthard, Hill, and Irvine played it safe with full wets. The race was about to begin, and in classic Spa fashion, it would blow up within seconds. Lights out, Häkkinen made a clean getaway. Hill got wheel spin and dropped back. Villeneuve launched forward. Schumacher climbed into third. But then, disaster. Coulthard lost control in the spray. His McLaren slammed into the barrier on the right, bounced back across the track, and triggered one of the biggest pileups in F1 history. Visibility was non-existent. Drivers behind him were blind, barreling into the carnage at full speed. 13 cars were destroyed. Barrichello, Rosset, Panis, Salo, Trulli, all gone before the first corner. Miraculously, nobody was seriously injured, but the race was red flagged immediately. Mechanics scrambled to prepare spare cars. It took over an hour to clear the wreckage. Only 18 cars lined up for the restart, and that's when things somehow got worse. Take two. This time, Damon Hill nailed the start, overtaking both McLarens at La Source, but behind him, disaster struck again. Häkkinen spun while exiting the hairpin, and Johnny Herbert's Sauber had nowhere to go. Boom! Another crash. Both were out on the spot. Safety car deployed again. Coulthard's day didn't improve either. He tangled with Wirtz and found himself dead last. As the race settled in under the safety car, Hill led from Schumacher, followed by Irvine, Alesi, Villeneuve, and Ralf Schumacher. And for a moment, things looked almost normal. But Spa wasn't done. When the safety car pulled in, Schumacher pounced. On lap 7, he lunged past Hill at the bus stop chicane and never looked back. He was in a league of his own, pulling a second per lap, extending a 30-second lead. It was vintage Michael in the wet. Meanwhile, Jos Verstappen's engine exploded. Villeneuve crashed into the barriers. Drivers began switching from intermediates to wets as the rain intensified. Hill had a slow pit stop with front wing adjustments, but through it all, Schumacher stayed cool. At this point, it looked like the championship battle was about to swing heavily in his favor. And then, the moment that changed everything. Lap 26, Schumacher, cruising with a 30-second lead, approached David Coulthard to lap him. Spray was thick, visibility near zero. Coulthard stayed on the racing line and lifted off the throttle. Schumacher, blind in the mist, plowed into the back of the McLaren. The Ferrari's front suspension shattered, sparks flew, Michael limped back to the pits. But this time, he wasn't just frustrated, he was furious. He threw his steering wheel across the cockpit, jumped out of the car, and stormed down the pit lane straight toward McLaren's garage. He shoved mechanics aside, screaming at Coulthard, accusing him of trying to kill him. It got so heated that both teams had to intervene to prevent a full-on fistfight. Schumacher filed an official protest with the stewards. Coulthard insisted it was just a misunderstanding. The press ate it up. This wasn't racing. This was war. With Michael out, the race flipped on its head. Damon Hill was now leading, and behind him, his future teammate, Ralf Schumacher. As the rain continued to pour, Ralf began closing the gap. From 22 seconds, down to 10, and still gaining. On lap 30, another crash. Fisichella and Nakano collided. Safety car deployed. Ralf was now directly behind Hill, and that's when the radio messages started. Hill, if we fight, we could end up with nothing. Jordan had never won a race, let alone finished 1-2. They had a historic result on the table, and now had to make a call. Team orders were issued. Ralph, hold position. Do not pass Damon. At first, Ralph didn't reply. Then came a two-word answer. Understood, reluctantly. Tension built. The rain didn't stop. But Ralph, for now, played ball. The final 12 laps were intense but controlled. Ralph stayed glued to Damon's rear wing, clearly faster, but unwilling to risk it. Alesi closed in slightly, but couldn't threaten either Jordan. Irvin spun into the gravel. Both Ferraris out. Only 8 cars remained on track, and then, after 44 wild laps, history was made. Damon Hill crossed the line to win the 1998 Belgian Grand Prix. Ralf Schumacher finished second. Jean Alesi rounded out the podium. It was Jordan's first ever victory in Formula 1, and not just a win, a 1-2 finish. Team boss Eddie Jordan sprinted to the pit wall and broke into his famous Irish jig. Pure, unfiltered joy. The underdogs had done it, but the drama didn't stop there. Michael Schumacher, still fuming, crashed Jordan's post-race celebration. Told them flat out, Ralph will never drive for you again. And he was right. Ralph moved to Williams the following season, cutting ties with Jordan for good. Meanwhile, Schumacher's DNF meant he lost critical points in the championship. Instead of going to Suzuka with a 6-point lead, he entered with a 4-point deficit. He would go on to lose the 1998 title to Häkkinen, all because of that one moment with Coulthard. Spa 1998 wasn't just a race, it was a saga. A 13-car crash, a mid-race fistfight, a team's first ever win, and the moment that swung the championship. Only 8 cars finished. 13 retired from crashes, 1 from mechanical failure. This wasn't just chaos, it was Formula 1 on fire, in the rain, in the Ardennes. And honestly, we'll probably never see anything like it again. Because today, if it rained like that, the FIA would run 2 laps behind the safety car and call it a day.